guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another unboxing video, another music box set video. And today we're going to be looking at the Beatles and Revolver. As you know, I have the super deluxe editions of Let It Be and Abbey Road, and so I thought I'd pick up this one because it was in a good deal. I think I picked up for about 60 something pounds. So it was a really cool deal, so I thought I'd pick this up. So I'm only two away from getting all the deluxe ones that are available. The only other ones that are available are Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, which I don't have, and the White Album. They're the only two that I don't have. But let's not waste any time. Let's have a deep down look into the Beatles Revolver Super Deluxe box set. So here we are, guys. Here's the box. I ordered this from, I believe, again, Charlie UK. They seem to be pretty good and quick with their box sets. It's where I ordered the last ones from. So let's not waste any time. Let's open the box. I have undone the sellotape. Wow, that looks pretty awesome. It's quite a heavy set. It is a full 12-inch set, this one, where like the Abbey Road one and the other one seem to be like a 10-inch set. I think the Abbey Road one might have been a sorry guys, just prattling around with the box, might have also been this size, but this is ginormous. It's really hefty, so I think it's going to have a hefty book in there. As we can see, there's the book and there's the discs. Is it made in Czech Republic? Fantastic, really cool. So we'll pop that there. Let's try and get rid of the shadow if I can. There we go, that's probably a little bit better. Right, so here it is. Here's the Revolver. Let's have a look, see what it says on our sticker. Okay, Revolver Super Deluxe 5 CD set. New stereo mix by Giles Martin and Sam O'Kill. 2 session CDs of outtakes, rehearsals, demos and studio chat. A bit like the anthology. Original 1966 mono album, so it's got the mono version, which is fantastic, because I missed out on the mono box set. It's still on my radar. I still would like to maybe try and pick that up some point next year if I can. Plus bonus EP with paperback writer Rain in new stereo mix and original mono, and a 100-page hardback book with foreword by Paul McCartney. Right, so let's get this box open, if I can. Try and be very careful with it. I might be able to go down the side here and start here on this cellophane. So let's give this a go. I'm surprised these are not out of print yet, to be honest. These super deluxe editions don't stick around very long. This one came out in 2022, so that's why I'm saying I'm quite surprised it's still around. But I guess being the Beatles, they maybe have made a good few more than a lot of other maybe sets. Right, we'll try and preserve the sticker if we can. It normally says Revolver on the front, and it does, but it's in a sort of very, I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it's in white, and it just says Revolver across the bottom there, so I don't think you're going to pick that up. But that's pretty cool. It's a nice set there. And on the back we've got all the sort of track listings to the box set. Just getting the first one of the 2 stickers that are on the cellophane to pop on here into the bottom corner, which is made in Czech Republic. like the other Beatles box sets, these are reversed. It's natural for you to take it out this way, but it's in this way. So we'll take these out. And this is set out just like an LP, which is really, really nice. Yeah, it is. It's just set out just like the LP. With the original track listings there. Very cool, and it tells you who sang what song. But when you open it up, you will see that it's CDs, and they're set out just like the other ones, which I love. I like that it's all uniformed. So this is the new stereo mix of the album, Revolver, which will be on the Parlophone label. And there we go, there's the track listings. I'll read the track listings for you, but I'll read it from the disc. On here we have Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, I Am Only Sleeping, Love You Too, Here, There and Everywhere, Yellow Submarine, She Said, Good Day Sunshine, and Your Bird Can Sing, For No One, Dr. Roberts, I Want to Tell You, Got to Get You Into My Life, and Tomorrow Never Knows. So that is the original album backing picture, the original vinyl, and that's the stereo mix. Sits really nice in these. And here is the mono mix, which has the same cover. Now, when the original album cover, it wasn't as white as this. It was a little bit more of a tinge, sort of a bit of a yellow tinge to the original. But the track listing is exactly the same, guys, as the stereo, but in mono. So we don't need to read that off again. Here is the EP, which I believe is 4 tracks on here. You have Paperback Writer and Rain in the new stereo mix, and you have Paperback Writer and Rain in the original mono mix. So I believe that's a 4-track EP. Over this side is the sessions, session 1. These are on a white disc with like a test record identification on it, which is quite nice. Let me try and read the tracks on here if I can. Tomorrow Never Knows, take 7. Tomorrow Never Knows, mono mix. Got to Get You Into My Life, first version, take 5. Got to Get You Into My Life, second version, unnumbered mix. Got to Get You Into My Life, second version, take 8. Love You Too, take 1. Love You Too, unnumbered take. Love You Too, take 7. Paperback Writer, take 1 and 2, backing track. Rain, actual speed. Rain slowed down from master tape. Dr. Roberts, take 7. And Your Bird Can Sing, first version, take 2. And Your Bird Can Sing, first version, take 2. Giggling. These are for the Beatles fanatic. These are for a Beatles fan that loves the albums and like the new mixes. But if you're an absolute fanatic, these are absolutely sort of like what you will come into this set for. Here is the disc 2. And on this one we have, again, we have Your Bird Can Sing, second version, take 5. Taxman, take 11. I Am Only Sleeping, 1, 2, 3, 4 times of different rehearsals, takes 2, 5 and mono mix. Eleanor Rigby, Speech Before, take 2. Eleanor Rigby, take 2. For No One, take 10. And we've got 4 versions of the Yellow Submarine, followed by I Want to Tell You, Speech, and take 4. Here, There and Everywhere, take 8. She Said, John's demo, and she said take 15 backing track rehearsal, and that is all the tracks on this. No Blu-ray on here. I believe the Abbey Road one does have a Blu-ray, but there's no Blu-ray on this one. I think this is a little bit of a wasted opportunity, just having the 4 tracks on there, but there we go. But that's what we got, and that is the discs. And like I said, and it's all set out like the original album, which is really, really nice. I love that. They look so cool then. 1966. Cool. So we'll pop that aside, and then we're going to have a look at this book. So let's try and move a few bits about, if I can. See if that opens and covers the screen. Yeah, it does. That's fine. So I'll just pop these out the way for a second. And we'll try and go through this book together, shall we? It's a big old book. I've got long arms. And then we have the track listing, which I should have read from because that's more my size, but it's cool. We've got a great picture of the lads there in the studio, and the book starts off with a foreword from Paul McCartney, which is there, which he did this in June 2022. It's an introduction by Giles Martin. There's George Martin there, and Abbey Road in 1966. And there are the lads. John, Paul, George and Ringo. Revolver. So this is I'm not sure who this is written by. Maybe when we get to the end of the essay, it will tell us who the guy is that's doing this essay. Quite a lengthy essay, some great photos. People buy this just really, must be just for these photos. They really must. They are sensational. There's the Capitol, so that'd be the American single release of Yellow Submarine with Eleanor Rigby on the opposite side. So maybe that guy's name was Questlove, the guy at the beginning of this essay. The gentleman with the large hair. Guys rehearsing in the studio. The road to Revolver. Talks about how their sound has developed from a Rubber Soul from 1965 to a Revolver. Ringo looking extremely young there. Paul and George, great picture of George. I love these Beatle books because they're sort of really photo heavy and photos I've not seen before and stuff like that. Look at the holding the Rolling Stones album there, Aftermath. So this is now going into track by track, so it'll break down each track from the album. I love that they do this. That's checklist written by Phil MacDonald. If you're a Beatles fan, these sets are an absolute must. They really are. So there we go. We start with Taxman, which I believe was originally sang by George. Yeah, George was the lead singer on the Taxman. Eleanor Rigby up there. Paul took the lead vocals on this one, with harmonies from John and George. I'm Only Sleeping. John took the lead vocals on that track. Love You Too. George took lead vocals on that track. Here, There and Everywhere. I believe Paul took the lead vocals on that track. Yellow Submarine. Ringo Starr was the lead singer of that one. Which you can tell, you can hear his voice. Whenever you hear him sing, you can recognise his voice straight away. She Said, as John Lennon took the lead vocals on that one. Some more great pictures. Good Day Sunshine, Paul took the lead vocals on that one. And Your Bird Can Sing was John Lennon, took the lead vocals on that one. For No One was Paul taking the lead vocals. Dr. Roberts was John taking the lead vocals. I Want to Tell You was George Harrison taking the lead vocals. Got to Get You Into My Life was Paul, lead vocals. And Tomorrow Never Knows was John Lennon singing that track. And it goes to so much in depth about all these songs. Absolutely incredible. Really, really is. How can they just manage to have all this in their memories? Not just the band, but the people that were associated with this release. So here's the single that wasn't on the album but came out the same period, and it's Paperback Writer with lead vocals by Paul, and Rain was John Lennon on lead vocals. And now we're going into a bit about, they're talking about the creation of the cover, which I believe was done by Klaus Vormann. And this is telling the story. This is quite cool. Who else would do a set like this and include all this? You know, incredible. Now we're going on to about the reception of the album when it came out. People thought of the album. It's become one of the classic Beatles albums where a lot of bands and a lot of music press have shouted this is the Beatles' best album. I can see why a lot of the 90s Britpop scene was definitely influenced by this album, I would say. Great shot of the boys there. And there we go with the track listing of all the discs that we've been through. And this now goes through all, thanking all the people that were involved with this set, including Yoko Ono and Olivia Harrison. And there's the guys' guitars, and that's the end of the book. So an absolute wonderful book. So let's pop this back into its sleeve. Oh, must find a place for that sticker. I think we've just found it. We'll pop it on the front of the book, I think. Well, what's it like on the inside? Yeah, actually we'll go on the inside, guys. Because I know some people say, how can you stick that on the front of the book? So we got 2 blank sheets of black card. It's almost like cardboard, this paper. So again, I'm just going to put it in. I don't put it in straight, I just put it in just so I've got it preserved in there. There we are. So we'll pop that back into the box. We'll get the LP cover with the CDs in it, and we'll put that in there. And that, guys, is a closer look at the Super Deluxe edition of the Beatles Revolver. So once again, another absolute fantastic set from the Beatles estate, if you like, of the classic album Revolver, which is an amazing album. I do really like it. It's not in my top 3, but it is in my top 5 Beatles albums. But it is a fantastic album. It's really cool, and like I said in the little bit of video, I think this album influenced a lot of the Britpop scene that came in the sort of 90s with bands like Oasis and Charlatans and all those sort of bands. You can definitely hear a lot of their influences in here. But there again, you can take it back to the Jam with their song Start. Now, if you've heard that, that's a complete rip-off of the Beatles' Taxman. It's the complete same bass line. Dun, 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 dun. It's exactly the same. And they've taken that straight off the Beatles' Taxman. But to me, it shows an influence. I mean, Paul Weller I'm sure is a huge Beatles fan, because you can just tell by the way he is, and the way a lot of his songs are written, and the style is very quite like, you can see influences in there. So why not? If it's in a respectful kind of like tribute, then that's cool. And that's a really cool. And Taxman is the first opening track on this album. It's a great album. So who is this box set aimed at? It's a bit like all the other Beatles albums. To me, I think these are more aimed at for the sort of Beatles fan, rather than the casual sort of Beatles listener. They have released these. You can buy the stereo versions, and I believe there is like some remixes of this album that came out at the same time. I think they released a 2 CD set of this, which has the new stereo mix and some of the tracks that are in the sort of like outtakes. It doesn't have the stereo and the mono, which would have been really cool, but I guess if they did that, people wouldn't buy the mono set, because they did release a box set of the mono albums, and it goes right up to sort of like some of the latter albums. But I think maybe the last couple of albums of the Beatles were probably just in stereo. But it contains all the mono recordings, which I like, because that's how they were made, you know, and they were made to be in mono. But obviously stereo came along, so the companies made 2 versions of the album. And I believe stereo was a lot cheaper to produce than a mono album. So that's why stereo sort of took off and took its way. But this has got the mono version in it. It's a great cover. It's an amazing album cover. I do like the artwork on here by Klaus. I'm sure it's Klaus that does the artwork on this. Really cool. Great set. Great to have it in my collection, and it's so much heavier than the other sets. I thought, oh my god, have I done it again? Have I accidentally ordered the vinyl? Because this is so heavy. But no, it is the CD one, and it's so cool. And that will go right with my Abbey Road and my Let It Be. Cheers, guys.